Hey everyone! Happy Tuesday. I'm wearing a turtleneck in South Florida, which doesn't make any sense, but I'm talking about the autumn equinox, so I feel like I have to be fall, right? This is ridiculous. This is absolutely dumb, but just roll with it. But I hope you all are doing so well and are enjoying this energy shift that we are currently undergoing. Today, the day that I'm filming this, if you're watching this live or if you're watching this on YouTube later on, is September 22nd, 2020, which is the mark of the autumn equinox. And this is something that's celebrated like just on a global level, truthfully, but it's also something that has an impact astrologically. So I'm going to go over some of the themes surrounding this autumn equinox and just like the turning of the tides and all of that Astro Tea Tuesday goodness. So first of all, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. You can catch more of these if you subscribe to my YouTube channel or if you follow me on Instagram at Jasmine Kylene. That's all the promo that I have. So today is the autumn equinox, which autumn equinox equals, what is it? I have it written down what it actually means. It means equal night in Latin, and that's basically because it marks the time in which there's an equal amount of daylight as there is nighttime, which is a really beautiful reminder of the idea of balance. So the first thing that I want to talk about with this autumn equinox is the fact that us mastering duality and mastering two sides of every coin is going to be a huge theme going on right now as we move into the tides and as we shift into this autumn energy. So when I talk about, duality, I'm talking about the light and the dark, the masculine and the feminine, work and play. That's been huge for me. I feel like this autumn equinox is really tying all together this idea that like I've been maybe not prioritizing play enough, and I don't think that play is something that should be 50-50. I think sometimes you should play more than you should work, honestly. What ideas are ours and what ideas are like ingested from the matrix, that's a whole other conversation. But the point here is that with the autumn equinox, you're definitely going to want to let yourself look at both sides of you. Look at both sides of every situation and understand why balance is necessary. We can't live thriving lives if we only exist in the light, because we're not going to have any sort of perception or we're not going to have an understanding of what it means to be built through strife. But we're also not going to be able to have thriving lives if we only exist in darkness. So it's a matter of allowing ourselves to master both sides of the coins, mastering your masculine and your feminine. You need to understand both sides of yourself. You need to see why it's important to have a well-built yang energy and a well-built yin energy. And, work and play. What are some other themes? Inner and outer. It's really important that you're making sure that you're taking care of yourself inwardly. And making sure that you are okay mentally and emotionally, but also outwardly. You want to make sure that you are caring for your body in a way that you feel good externally, and with that can go your internal relationship with yourself and your external relationships. It's all a matter of with this autumn equinox, which is just putting such a light on the idea of equal, of being split down the middle, of this and that, of yin and yang. It's a matter of seeing why both sides are important and honoring them. I think that we are more comfortable riding on the air of positivity, but positivity can be toxic. It's important to honor the darkness that comes up in just our human experience. So with this autumn equinox that's going on today, September 22nd, we are also having the sun move from Virgo. We had this beautiful Virgo season into Libra season, which just even furthers this ideology, because Libra is the sign of balance, of the scales, of justice. So when we have this theme come up, it's really a matter, moving out from an earth sign into an air sign, we're going to have you're going to feel the shift in energy, like physically, truthfully. Libra being ruled by Venus, we're less in this place of like being in the dirt and manifesting, and more into a place of enjoying the luxuries of life, enjoying what we have worked hard to enjoy. Because once again, I apologize if I'm all over the place. I just kind of talk and then that's it. But with the autumn equinox, it's a matter of honoring our harvest. when I say that, usually the astrological calendar sort of starts in the spring equinox. And in the spring equinox, we are encouraged to plant the seeds that we want to see come into full bloom throughout the year, and set our intentions and have clarity on what those intentions are. And so now that we're in the autumn equinox, it's a matter of like, okay, let's sit back and let's see, what did we plant in the spring and how did it come into fruition? How did we water it? How did we water our intentions? And honor that. It's a beautiful time for reflection, and it's a beautiful time to honor how far you've come. I think we're always in this place of like working towards something and bettering ourselves and all of that, but it's like sometimes you also need to stop and realize that like you've been doing that. You've been working towards something, so how can you honor the fact that like, look how far I've come. Look at the beautiful pumpkins that I built out of caring for myself, or pouring myself into the career that I know is meant for me, or whatever that means for you. It's honoring your harvest, and then equally it's getting clear on what this next imagine knowing like gardening terminology, what this next row of vegetables looks like for you. I don't know, but it's a matter of honoring and being reflective on like, yes, I worked hard towards building this garden for myself and I'm proud of myself, or vice versa, right? Because duality, maybe there were some intentions that you had in the spring equinox and you didn't water them the way that you were meant to. You didn't honor what you really wanted for yourself. You wanted to better your physical health, or nurture your relationships a bit more, or pour yourself into a hobby that you just kind of fell off on. Be kind to yourself, be forgiving to yourself. You're only a human doing your best with this human experience, especially in a year like this. But B, now get clear on, well, how am I going to go about this next harvest differently? How am I going to plant this seed with more intention, with more clarity, with more commitment? Let's see what else I have written down. Yes, it's a beautiful time for harmony and balance. Honoring duality. So, the shadow and the child is another dual relationship that we should honor. It's not about only thriving in your childlike essence, which is really, really beautiful and really important, but it won't be all the more. You can't build too much if you're always in that mind state. So it's also honoring the adults in you, the higher self in you, masculine and feminine. And yeah, it's time. In the spring equinox, we're sowing the seeds, so now it's a matter of seeing what have we planted and what have we grown, and allow yourself to take stock of that, and allow yourself to be all the more, above all else, be honest with yourself, be kind with yourself, but also be honest. Recognize what self-sabotaging habits have maybe stopped you from really growing this harvest that you deserve to have. We deserve access to the most bountiful and beautiful gardens that we could possibly have. We have the capability of building lives that we love, building lives that we deserve to live. We are the co-creators of our reality. I can't stress that enough. If there's anything that I want anybody who watches anything that I do to take away, it's to feel empowered and knowing that you are capable of building a life that you love. Yes, we honor divine timing. Yes, we honor fate. And yes, we can surrender to whatever higher power it is that we believe in that is, guiding us. But we also, we have our own divine will, and we can speak things that we want into existence, and we can not only have a vision for ourselves, but we can also recognize the steps that you need to take towards that vision, because it's not a matter of like empty manifestation, right? Saying I want a red Ferrari and then like laying on your couch all day. It's a matter of like, I want a red Ferrari. That red Ferrari is for me. I'm so excited to have this red Ferrari, and here are the steps that I'm going to take towards getting that red Ferrari, trusting that you're divinely supported, but also taking the steps towards getting it, because that's another example of duality. It's trusting and setting the intention, but also doing the action, right? Mars, I don't know what planet would, Jupiter perhaps, so that yeah. And also I want to, this is a beautiful time for gratitude. Not just to something bigger than you, which yes, we should absolutely offer ourselves to our ancestors and to our divine team of guides and angels, and know that you are guided and you are protected. But also it's a matter of honoring honoring yourself, honoring the work that you did put in. Because if you are in a place where you do see the beautiful harvest that you've made for yourself, then you know that it took work, it took commitment from you. So just allow yourself this time to like be grateful for you, for showing up for yourself. It's a reflective time, a time to see what you've grown, a time to thank yourself and thank your guides, and it's a time to just get clear on like, okay, well, what's next? What is this next harvest? You know, enjoy this moment, enjoy what you have now, but also know that like the journey is not done. So what's next? And get clear on it, get really clear. I pull cards usually like every Tuesday, and a card that came up for me, I can grab it really quickly, which is unprofessional, and I apologize, but it's the Seven of Cups and Choose Wisely, which is a heart chakra card. And it's like this matter of like, we are really being defined by our choices right now, and we're really being defined by how clear we are with the intention. So later on today, I'm going to do my own ritual, and I have journaling prompts I'm going to share with you guys to help you get a bit more clarity on this. But yeah, just do your best to have a clear vision for what you want for yourself, and then trust that it's yours, but also map out how you're going to get there. And yeah, and as far as astrology goes, there's a lot of Mercury aspects going on right now. We have Mercury square Pluto, Mercury square Saturn, Mercury opposite Mars, Mercury entering Scorpio, and we are in the shadow period of Mercury retrograde, which probably next week I'll talk a bit about what Mercury retrograde is going to look like for us and what the month of October is going to bring us, which is a lot. But just have in mind that Mercury is being aspected heavily, and so that may affect your communication. It may affect the way that you are heard and seen, and just as long as you have that in mind, you can go about it and navigate it in a better way. Oh, I'm gonna do that. Anyway, the journaling prompts that I want to share with you guys is the first one I want to do. I don't even want you to answer a question. I just want I invite you to journal on honoring how you've grown. What has this last, sorry, it just like paused, my bad. Honor how far you have come and take stock of the way that you've grown within the past 6 months, from the spring equinox to now. Just honor it and express gratitude for how far you've come. Just take the time, to actually just write it out. No question to answer, just write it out so that you can see it, and then you can recognize it like, wow, I should be proud of myself. Or I should recognize the ways in which I've held myself back and know that I'm capable of molding that differently this next go around. And in order to invite you to find some clarity, answer the journaling prompt of, what do I want this next season to look like for me? What do you want it to look like? And be limitless with this response. Don't be bound by fear. Don't be bound by anxiety. Don't be bound by the belief that you're probably not capable or enough for this. Just, what do you want this next season to look like for you? And then following that, what are you going to do now? That's what life looks like then. So what can I do now to get there? While trusting that no matter what, I'm going to end up, my boat is going to dock exactly where it's meant to. And lastly, how can I master balance in my life? So be honest with yourself and take stock of what areas in your life are imbalanced, or what energies you need to work on more, which energies you need to work on maybe alleviating a bit. Maybe for me, I'm just too, I've never been this person, and then all of a sudden I become very like work obsessed, and so it's a matter of balancing, allowing myself time to enjoy this harvest and time to enjoy playing a bit more. I think I've done a good job at like mastering my masculine and feminine, inner and outer. Sometimes I think I take care of myself really well inwardly, and then my external relationships probably suffer, so that's another thing. But yeah, honestly, sorry, I just got a text. But honoring the balance in your life and figuring out what areas you need to allow balance to seep in more, light and dark, shadow and light, shadow and child, whatever that looks like for you. Know that everything needs an opposite. It's just how the world works, and I don't think we should I stray from living a dual life, because I think that when we label everything, we see things as good and bad, and truthfully I don't think that there's anything wrong with darkness. I think that it's necessary, and I think that it helps mold our reality, and it helps mold our appreciation of the light. So it's not a matter of living a life in which you see things as dual, as good and bad, and as positive and negative, but rather seeing how maybe you are not honoring all the sides of things. So yeah, that is the autumn equinox. I hope you guys enjoy this this time. I hope you guys show up for yourselves and journaling a bit and seeing how you can take advantage of this beautiful time right now. It's a really nice time to be reflective and to get creative on what you want to build for yourself now that you've really set a solid foundation for you. So as far as I'm concerned, you can follow me on Instagram at Jasmine Kylene. You can subscribe to my YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm grateful for you. And I just came out with a line of color healing teas, which I'm so grateful for the support that everyone's shown them. It means the world to me. So if you want to get those, you can find them in either the description or on my profile, the link in my bio. And shout out to World TV. I'll have an interview premiering here, not this week, but next week. And yeah, enjoy the seasons. It's evolution. Oh yeah, I meant to say that, but I'll just add it in now that as seasons evolve, so do we. So honoring our evolution is important. Honoring how we evolve and how we have evolved and how we will continue to evolve, because that's what the human experience is about. Okay, bye.